Welcome back to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach when working with clients. We look at the whole client, not just telling you what to eat or how to eat. We look at how nutrition and quality food relates to support systems, stress management, exercise, all of the factors that will help someone become the healthiest version of themselves. I'm your host, Nicole Aucoin, registered dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of the Healthy Kids Cookbook, 100% kid-approved recipes the entire family will love. You can find this cookbook on Amazon or click the link in the show notes and you can grab your copy today. In this podcast, we will be teaching you how to take one step at a time to becoming the healthiest version of yourself. Today, I'm so excited to have one of our nutrition clients on the podcast. He actually works with one of our partner gyms, Rock City Complete Fitness in Arkansas. His name is Paul. Paul is a working professional that clearly is so passionate about CrossFit, and he talks about how CrossFit changed his life and he wanted to inspire others. He became a coach at Rock City Complete Fitness. But the cool thing is how we talk about how nutrition plays a role in all of this. In this episode, we talk about his journey with nutrition and losing 50 pounds initially by himself with his support system, how he ended up coming on board as a coach to encourage other athletes to become a healthier version of themselves. Then we talk about why he hired a nutrition coach and how his coach Heather has helped him, and bringing it all together, how he now understands where nutrition fits in when he's working with his clients at his CrossFit gym. This episode is probably one of my favorites because it truly takes a tribe in a gym to help people understand how nutrition is going to play a role in helping them achieve the results they want to achieve. We will get to this episode right after this message. Do you know someone who is looking to become a healthier version of themselves, but they're unsure where to start? With so many different diets out there, it can be confusing on what diet is right for you. Well, we started this podcast to inspire people to take one step at a time to becoming the healthiest version of themselves. We would love for you to share this podcast with your friends, family, coworkers. You never know who could use some words of encouragement. Take a screenshot, post it on social media, post it on Instagram. Please don't forget to tag us at Healthy Steps Nutrition so your friends can find more of the awesome free help that we provide. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so that you don't miss another episode. Enjoy Paul's story. Paul, welcome to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast.
Thanks, Nicole. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited to share your story, which is quite a journey with weight loss and switching from weight loss goals to performance goals over the years, right?
Yes. Yeah, sure has.
Tell me a little bit about, let's go back. You initially lost 50 pounds. Take me back to that time. What prompted you to start making some changes?
So 2013, it was actually a couple of guys from work that I had worked with. We were standing at the hall at the workplace, and one of the guys said, "Hey, there's a CrossFit gym in the town that we're from. I think I'm going to give it a try." And all three of us were really overweight, like maximum density. It was the heaviest I had ever been. So I was at about 268 pounds at that time, and I'm only 5'9", so I was almost rounder than I was tall. And all three of us, same way. We're like, look, we've got to make a change. And we thought, well, let's try this. So we started off doing the CrossFit thing, and it was awesome. Super painful, really sore, hadn't worked out in years. And then as we started to do it, we started to go more often, went from 2 days a week to 3 days a week and then to 5 days a week. And as we started working at the gym, the coaches there and the owners there talked to us about nutrition. And that's really where it clicked for me that, gosh, if I lost some weight, I could probably move a little better and could probably do better in the workouts and feel better. And within about a year, so 2014, I lost about 50 pounds, and it was mainly, following kind of a clean eating or paleo, diet at the time. And then from there, really just kind of working on my own nutrition, trying to understand what healthy nutrition looked like. So that was, initial weight loss, and then probably for the last, up until about 2019, 2020, kind of doing it on my own.
Wow. I want to take us back to that
Sure.
2013 time, because walking into a CrossFit gym at the weight that you were at, probably the shape that you were in, it was probably pretty intimidating, but it's less intimidating if you've got two friends who are all in the same boat with you, right?
Absolutely. So those two buddies of mine really helped. I mean, and like I said, I couldn't run 400 meters. Like they would have a warm up to run 400 meters, and I had to walk. Like that's how bad it was. My wife would tell me, even here, I had three boys living in the home at the time. They're all older now, but at the time they lived here, and I would not go up on my second floor of my home because I didn't. It was I didn't want to wind myself going up and down the stairs. So that's how bad it was. And so, just over time, showing up and eating better, it was a huge improvement. My wife's really noticed it when she said probably 6 months in, I was running up the stairs to go talk to my boys, and that was a big deal for her.
That's awesome. And, it sounds like you guys, were going 2 days a week, and then, you get the taste, and then you start drinking the
Yeah.
Kool-Aid, and then you're like, all right, I
Yep,
want to
for
go
sure.
every day. I actually like going, and I think now more than ever, it gives you some human interaction that's,
For sure. Community.
fun, right?
Yeah.
So that's amazing. You guys started going and going more consistently. And it's awesome to hear that the gym owners were talking about nutrition, because so many times we say nutrition is really important, but then we don't put the emphasis on nutrition, and people get really frustrated, right? Like if your goal
For
was
sure.
weight loss and you were going and exercising more and you were more hungry and you weren't changing what you were eating, you're not really going to see the results that you want to see. And then you're going to say, CrossFit doesn't work for me. When in reality, if we changed both nutrition and fitness, you would see exceptional results.
Absolutely. And what dawned on me really, I lost a few pounds just doing the exercise regime, but it really dawned on me that I can't outwork my fork, right? I have to. It's the nutrition was 90% of it really. If I was going to lose the weight, I had to eat better. I mean, I was eating fast food, just terrible and a lot. So as I started to go to the gym more, I wanted to do things. I wanted to be able to do a pull up. I couldn't do a pull up for about a year. And the coaches were like, if you want to do a pull up, it'd be a lot easier to do a pull up 50 pounds lighter than what you weigh today. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So those things clicked for me. And then I really wanted to work on improving my diet.
I love that. So many people
Yeah,
join the gym and, they say, I work out so I can eat whatever I want. When in reality, imagine how much easier things would be if you were a little bit lighter, or you fueled your body so that you could perform the way you wanted to perform.
absolutely. And that's really what I found over the last year. I've been doing this, like I said, since 2013, CrossFit, and I enjoy it. What I love about CrossFit is there's age groups associated with it, and so I can compete with my own peers, with my own age group. And over the last year, that's where I really, I've eaten clean for quite a few years, right, and done well. My doctor, I was on blood pressure meds, cholesterol and blood pressure meds, and after that first year, my doctor took me off both medicines. And then each year subsequent to that, my cholesterol numbers are spot on; they're perfect. Blood pressure is as low as it's ever been, and it's really I feel it's the nutrition component of that, along with the exercise, obviously. But it's been what I found over the last year was really to dial in my nutrition. I can do even better, and that's where I think I was satisfied. I thought, man, losing 50 pounds is pretty decent, and I feel good, a lot better than I did. But what I didn't realize is you can also eat too much good food. Like I can eat healthy food and eat too much healthy food. And that's really I think what Heather and getting a coach has helped me understand is, okay, she took a more deeper dive into macronutrients and even my micronutrients of getting enough fiber and what I was eating and the mixture of it has just been super helpful.
I think that's an interesting distinction, right? Like when you start your journey with weight loss, the foundations, healthy habits, getting a lifestyle together. But then for a lot of clients, their initial goal is weight loss. And then they're like, actually, I want to take my performance up to the next level. And that's really when we have to dial in the details to help you see the results that you want. When you started working with Heather, what is the difference between, recovery and how you feel during workouts now that you are more dialed in?
Much better. And even over the last year working with Heather, she would ask me, we would set my macronutrients up and we would do it for 3 months or so and talk about it. And she would ask me, how are you feeling in your workouts? How are you feeling after your workouts? And I would let her know, I'm a little tired. I'm a little sluggish. And we would adjust the macros a little bit, maybe a little less fat, a little more carbs and protein and dial it in. And then she would come back a little later. And how are you feeling now? I feel great. I'm starting to hit personal records in some of my workouts. And that's the other thing is I can, kind of benchmark and gauge myself with the workouts of how I'm performing compared to how I used to and how I feel. And I feel great. It's a much, much better now.
I love that. The cool thing about CrossFit is that we do the open every year, right? We have
Yeah.
numbers, we have workouts
Yeah.
that we've done probably in 2013 and 14 for you that now you can do them again. You're like, okay, I've beat my score by 100%. I've done 100% better this time than
Right.
I did years ago, which is a cool thing. Cause as you get more involved with nutrition and fitness and you've been doing it for a while, those PRs don't happen as fast or as often as they used
My
to.
age.
I wouldn't even take age out of it. I think when you do things for a while, your jumps at the beginning are a lot better than the jumps at the end.
For sure. Yeah, you're right. So they're definitely special. And this last year has been a special year for me.
I love that. And I think an interesting thing when we bring up macronutrients, because I think macros is such a buzzword, right? Like people think, oh, I need to dial in my macros. It really comes down to the quality of food that you eat to meet
Absolutely.
your macronutrients, not just, oh, I have this number, I'm trying to hit it for the day.
Mhm.
And if you don't look at the quality of food, if you're just looking at the quantity, then you're probably not even feeling how well you could feel.
Right. I agree. And one of the huge benefits of my story, and I neglected to say it from the beginning, was a supportive family. My wife is amazing. She was healthy since we've been married. She ate well, and it's really been a huge help for me. So if I have someone in the house that is eating well and not stocking the pantry full of garbage, obviously it goes a lot easier for me. And she helps me food prep. We cook together. We cook our chicken, our lean meats together, and she would make vegetables for me, roasted vegetables, and just been huge support. And what's kind of funny to me is it's not funny, but I enjoy my food. Like the healthy food that I eat, I look forward to it. And I eat a lot of the same things, and you don't have to, but that's just my choice. And I love it. I look forward to it every day, even when I traveled. So I work for a multinational company, and prior to COVID, I was traveling the world, like all over the world, 70% of the time. And you can eat healthy on the road. It's not that hard. You have to make excuses on eating healthy and make excuses on working out. Like I need to work out. I need to eat healthy. And that was a huge revelation for me too, that I could eat well on the road, and I could pretty much eat the foods that I wanted to eat and continue to work out. I worked out at, of course, I keep track of this, 61 gyms around the world. CrossFit gyms I've gone to in 8 countries, 9
Wow.
states. So it's been awesome. Yeah.
And you're a coach at Rock City, right? So
I am. Since 2017, I got my level 1.
okay, so I want to talk about that for a second. You traveling around, working with other coaches helps you. Jason, my husband, and I are the same way. We love dropping into different CrossFit gyms. I'm headed up to Nashville this weekend. I'm going to be dropping into 2 of the
fun.
CrossFit gyms that run our program. But the cool thing is when you when you drop into other gyms and you hear other coaches talk, you take away things to help you become a better coach.
Absolutely. Both from a coaching perspective inside the gym and even as a nutrition plan, seeing other folks how they work nutrition into their overall health plan. And it is an overall health plan, right? It's not just about diet or exercise. It's both. It's kind of funny when I say diet and exercise. So I went back to the plant. I work at a facility nearby here, and obviously since COVID, and I had a new role last 2 years. I've been traveling. I used to work in a factory. I used to run the factory, and they asked me to come back now that things are settling down a bit and teach a class. So I came back to teach a class, and it had been a year since I've been there. And it was funny to me. They were like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "What?" They're like, "You're skinny." I'm like, well, "What are you talking about?" Like, I didn't realize, I'd lost 25 pounds since the last time I was there. Matter of fact, we had a uniform as a black shirt and khaki pants, and I put my black shirt and khaki pants to go into the facility, and my pants were too big. And like, I was like, "Wow, this is pretty cool." Like, they were really too big. I couldn't wear them. So, just in that past year, seeing, being locked down, for so long and not seeing people that I hadn't seen in a while, it was kind of great for me to hear them talk about, gosh, they could notice there was a change in me, a physical change. So
That's
it
awesome.
was fun.
Sometimes you don't, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you don't notice like, where were you, years ago? And especially when you're just looking at a number on the scale versus looking at body fat percentage and how your clothes fit. Sometimes it's tougher to see, how the results are. But just in the past year, you've lost, and I think Heather put this in the notes, like 8% body fat, which is
Yeah.
incredible. Like, it's incredible.
It's pretty exciting to me. I thought, I've always in the last 5, 6, 7 years, mid 20s percentage body fat is kind of where I was. And I was pretty happy with it. I mean, I started off high 30s, like, almost 40%. And so when I lost that initial 50, it was good. And I built muscle over the years, but I was in the 24% range, 20, somewhere around there. And then that past year with Heather, I told her one of my goals for performance was I thought if I could be in the teens, in the high teens, percentage wise body fat, I could do better at the gymnastics movements, obviously pull ups. And I hadn't gotten a bar muscle up or a ring muscle up. And I really wanted to add those movements to my repertoire. And I hadn't been able to do that. So she helped me focus in and tighten up. I got into less than 15% at the best point, which was amazing for me. I was pretty happy with that.
I love that. And the cool thing is this wasn't a super restrictive diet. You've really made it into
No,
a lifestyle so
it
that
is.
you're educated now to make decisions no matter what situation you're in.
That's right. And what I love about it, what I love about Heather too, and really HSN, the thought process is it is a lifestyle. So it's in my mind, it's not, I'm never going to have another piece of carrot cake as long as I live. I'm never going to eat, some of these foods that I really enjoy. My wife makes an amazing pecan pie. I have a great time at Thanksgiving, right? I mean, I enjoy the day. I eat whatever I want to eat, and I'm back on my normal diet. And when I say diet, it's not like a diet. It's what I eat daily, right? It's my nutrition. So I go back to my plan. Honestly, after a day of eating like some of those indulgent foods, I'm like, I need to get back. I don't feel so good. I kind of want to get back to my normal food.
That's so true. And what's funny is most people don't even understand how their body's supposed to feel because you're so used to feeling a certain way when you were eating the fast food a bunch and
Yeah.
eating the foods that you were eating before. You don't even honestly connect the dots. Okay, I'm not sleeping as well because I'm eating crappy foods and my body's in overdrive. And when I eat better, I sleep better, I recover better, just everything works better.
You talk about the sleep, and I hadn't really put that one together. But when I first started, 7 years ago, I snored terribly. My wife would tell you that. And really, after I dropped the 50, I never snored anymore, and I slept through the night and felt great. So sleep was a huge component of it as well. It's the total package for sure.
I love it. I think one of the cool things with your story, and when we talk about coaches practicing what they preach, and you have empathy because you were there.
Yes.
You can tell people the importance of nutrition in classes because you're the walking example in the gym of how nutrition and fitness together help you achieve the results you want to achieve, whether it's weight loss goals, whether it's increased performance, whether it's just feeling better and feeling more confident in your skin. You can incorporate those conversations into classes. How do you do that with the members at Rock City?
It's really pretty easy. So I do work out at the gym. So when I'm in the classes myself and they see me working out, they approach me sometimes like, hey, new ones especially. How would you approach this workout, or what would you do here? Or they'll ask me nutrition questions. Hey, especially guys in my age group will come up to me, members that are over 40. They'll come up and ask a few questions like, man, you look great for your age. And I'm like, oh, thanks. But I really tell them it's simple, right? It's diet and exercise. It is simple, but it's hard. But when I say it's hard, it's hard just to make sure that you can follow the habits and create habits in your life that you do want to eat well and that you do want to exercise regularly. And I just let them know, kind of how I've done it in terms of following the plan and dialing in my macros. It's not too complicated, honestly, just to make sure that I get the calories that I need to fuel myself for the workouts and really everyday life. Um, and honestly, I point him to Heather or I point him to Kathy, a couple of our coaches, and say, listen, this was game changing for me over the past year. I went from working out on my own, doing my own thing with nutrition, which I did decent, but to take it to the next level, I needed the personal coaching, and it's been life changing. And I don't know if Heather told you what the numbers are at our gym, but it's exploded. Like, there's so many people signed up in the nutrition program now. And I'm not saying it's because of me, but like a lot of people are seeing huge results, like just person after person. And that's the other thing is, there's a community there, and we have our own Rock City Complete Fitness is the name of our gym. And I go to, and there's Rock City CrossFit portion of it. There's Rock City Nutrition as well. And the nutrition part is really growing. It's growing so much they added coaches, right? Because Heather couldn't handle it all after a while. And every Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday, I'm blown away by what I see. I mean, these people look amazing. Nate, they just put up Transformation Tuesday for Nate. He just started. He's joined the boot camp, and he and his wife are working on nutrition. The guy's lost like 20 something pounds, and he's only been there a few weeks. It's amazing. And so to see that is encouraging. And Heather's really good, and Kathy are really good about putting those Transformation Tuesdays out there and seeing people that are just showing up, putting in the work, dialing in their nutrition, and the results are there. It's simple. This diet and exercise is very simple. You just need to do it.
It's simple, not easy for sure, because it
Exactly.
sounds really good in theory, but then the decisions that you make every single day
Yeah.
either help or inhibit the results that you see.
For sure. And what I've seen too recently is a lot of couples are getting into this together, and that makes a huge difference. Like I said, my wife, I couldn't have done anything without the support of my family and my wife. And she eats well and she exercises well. She joined CrossFit as well and does it. So she understands. She does boot camp now, but I feel like we're like-minded, right? So you want to surround yourself with like-minded people, and our gym has that. We've got folks that enjoy working out, folks that enjoy eating well, and we like spending time with each other. And it's a great community.
At the end of the day, you're right. And there's one common theme in every single one of these podcasts where I interview different clients of different gyms that are running our program and seeing amazing results. Every single time there's one thing that comes up, and it's support system. You had at first, because sometimes, if your wife would have said, hey, let's lose some weight, or, hey, I want you to eat healthy, it
Yeah,
probably wouldn't have gone over as well. But your buddy is saying like, let's do
exactly.
this.
Yeah,
All right, great. And then you have the support system at home with your wife to help you. And at the end of the day, if you have that support system, if those people that you're closest with are on the same page, it's going to be so much easier to stick with it for the long haul. But you have to be intentional with putting yourself and connecting yourself with those people.
you do. Yeah, you do.
Any final thoughts for someone that's listening that's like, maybe they're where you were 60 pounds ago? Like,
Sure.
I don't know what to do. I don't know where to get started. What would you say to them?
I would say that really, if you're looking for change, if you're sick of where you are today, just take a step. It's just one step, and it's walking in a gym, it's talking to someone about your nutrition, it's any step. Just take action. There's a quote by a guy named John Shook who talks about it's easier to act your way to a new way of thinking than to think your way to a new way of acting. And that's it. Like, fake it till you make it, right? Just start showing up at the gym, and pretty soon you're going to start thinking, wow, I enjoy this. This is fun. Or, and same thing with eating well. You don't have to change your diet completely overnight. Like, start with one thing. You know what? I'm going to not eat fast food this week, or I'm not going to eat 5 fast food meals this week. I'll eat 4. Like, start small and work your way into it. But once you start working towards it, you'll see improvement. And that's the key to me, is when you start seeing the changes and you start seeing the improvement, and then other people start seeing changes and improvement, it just builds. But that's really, I think, just take the step, just do it. Find someone that you can be accountable with, and jump in.
I love that. And Heather was your accountability partner and your coach and your guide to really, if you find someone that's a few steps ahead of you that can help
Yeah,
you on your journey, it's so much easier to
for sure.
to do it because you have someone that's there to support you every step of the way, right?
Yeah, and I feel like even before I signed on with HSN and Heather, I had a pretty decent grasp of nutrition. I was eating fairly well, but even bouncing things off of her, like, she would ask me how I felt in the workout, and she was doing the same workouts I'm doing, so she kind of understands. And she would talk to me about it, and I would say, you know what, I'm sluggish in the afternoon classes and this and that. She'd say, why don't you try this? Why don't you try like a yogurt a couple hours beforehand with some fruit in it? And I'm like, yeah, that is money. Like, I'm all in now. Like, that's my normal afternoon snack, and it makes a big difference for me and how I feel when I'm in the gym. So it's really been helpful, just talking with her and knowing that each week we touch base, and she's asking me how I'm feeling. And, I've had different competitions throughout the year, and she kind of gets me ready for those. It sounds bad. She's like a security blanket in a sense. Last year, she's like, well, I think you're good to go now. You know how to do all this. And I'm like, hey, I'm not letting go of you. I just want to keep you on doing this. I appreciate it, but I've got a competition coming up, and I want you to help me with it. And she's like, okay, sure. And the same thing this year, the Open. They're going to have an Open announcement tonight. So that's been my goal for really 5 years, was to make the online age group qualifier. So this is my year. I aged up. I turned 55. So not too many people are excited about getting older unless you're in CrossFit or running or something where you go into that new age category. So I'm the young guy now, the 55-year-old group.
Oh, I love it. Well, best of luck in the Open.
Thanks.
We'll have to circle back around to find out how you did in the Open, but I'm sure all of your training, all of your hard work has given you the tools that you need to do the best that you possibly can this year, and really to become, you are the healthiest version of yourself. And I'm just so thankful that we got to share your story, and thank you for inspiring others, not only in your community to dial in their nutrition to help them become the best versions of themselves, but now on the podcast to all of our listeners. So thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Nicole. It's been a pleasure.
I love this story because we all know that you can't out-exercise a bad diet, yet so many people think that they can come to the gym so that they can eat what they want, when in reality, nutrition and quality food has so much more to do with just fitting into your skinny jeans. If you want to create the best version of yourself, you really have to look at nutrition, sleep, stress management, support system, all of these factors. Paul initially lost the weight on his own with the help of the support system to keep him accountable. But when he was ready, he knew that he needed to go to a nutrition coach, and he went to his coach at Rock City to help him. And with her help of helping him dial in the details, he was able to lose another 8% body fat. He lost a total of over 20% body fat altogether with the 60 pounds that he lost. And I think that is so incredible. Imagine losing 60 pounds. How will you feel? How much easier it would be to get up the stairs, go walk around, or play with your kids? It would be so much easier. And now he's able to inspire others. My favorite part of his story is that he's a coach that realized he needed help. Let me let you in on a secret. Even coaches need coaches. Even mentors need mentors. At Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ, we work with dozens of nutrition coaches and gym owners that are using our platform. And when I talk to gym owners who aren't necessarily ready yet to implement a nutrition program in-house, the first step I recommend is sign up as a nutrition client. It's so much easier for you to talk from experience when you understand how you can truly help someone when they are dialing in their nutrition and fitness together. If you are at the beginning of Paul's journey and you're like, hey, I don't even know where to get started, or you are like, hey, I've lost some weight and I just have some extra pounds to lose, or maybe I've regained a little bit of the weight that I worked really hard to lose and I need a coach, we would love to help you. You can click the link in the show notes, or you go to hireanutritioncoach.com. You can find a Healthy Steps nutrition coach near you, or you can work with one of our nutrition coaches at our Healthy Steps Nutrition headquarters location. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. And we will see you back next week where we talk about tips when tracking progress. We know that progress is not a straight line and you have to track more than just one number. So Ashley and I give you an insight on what you should be tracking and how often you should be tracking it. We will see you back next week.